How to tie a tag on your fly fishing tippet. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Let's get into it. Alright, so let's get started. So the first thing that we're going to do is that we're going to make a simple loop with our line that's representing our tippet. And what we're going to do now is that we're going to make a simple overhand knot, 2 overhand knots with this loop. So we're going to get our line here, we're going to make another loop, and we're going to put that loop in that other loop there. We're going to do it twice. And then we're going to just tighten down on that knot. And usually during this time, I like to add a little bit of moisture, either with, I usually use creek water for this method. I'm going to use the creek water to put it on our tippet here so it prevents the tippet overheating and fraying. And then at this point we have just a simple loop. And basically, if we separate these two lines here. So this line up here represents our fly, or our tippet, either connecting to our fly line or our leader or our cider material, either if we're here in nymphing. And then down below, this is where we're going to tie our bottom fly here. This is going to be our dropper, and this is going to be our tag fly. Now, we still have a loop here. Only thing that I like to do is that to finish up this tag, I'm going to take this scissor, I'm going to get to the bottom of the knot here, and I'm just going to cut it. And there we go, we have our tag now. That's it. That's where we're going to either any type of favorite fishing knot you like to connect your fly. I like to use a clinch knot most of the time, or a davy knot. And this, here we go. This is our example of our tippet. This is going to be for our top fly, and this is going to be for our bottom fly. Now usually I like to space this a lot more, but for video purposes I had it pretty short. And our tag here is pretty long. Sometimes I like to keep it a little bit shorter so it doesn't tangle up with our tippet here. So occasionally I just go around, get my nippers, and then cut off this excess tippet. Alright, so now this brings up the question, which I'm surprised a lot of fly fishermen don't say anything about this, is when you have your tag up here, a lot of times you're changing a lot of flies. So eventually you're going to be cutting away all these tag ends here, to eventually we just have our knot. So we don't have a tag anymore, so what do? So only thing we're going to do now is that we're going to look at this knot, and this is actually going to provide us a pretty simple way of creating another tag. And this is going to be our stopper knot. So only thing we need to do is that we need to get some extra tippet, and what we're going to do is that we don't need too much. And the only thing that we're going to do now is that we're going to make a clinch knot above this stopper knot. So we're just going to twist this around. Again, in this hand, this is extra tippet that we got from our spool, and then in my left hand I have the original tippet that we had that's connected to our leader. So simply, I'm going to make 5 go around 5 times around that main line there, and then we're going to take this tag end and we're just going to put it through that loop, and then we're just going to slide down on that, and then we have some excess tag there, don't need that. And then after, alright, so there we go. So we have our stopper knot, we have our fly at the bottom here, and the only thing we need to do is to pull down on this clinch knot, and there we go. There's another tag that we could tie on. And then let's cut some of this line off here, clean it up a little bit, and there we go. And it's pretty relatively simple. Now you could just do a clinch knot over and over again at that stopper knot, and there you go. That's how I tie a tag knot on my tippet, and this is how I usually fish with 2 flies when I'm euro nymphing. And for up here, again, we just made a loop, 2 overhand knots, and we had our original tag. And then after we're done, either if we're tying a lot of flies on that tag and we don't have any tag left, we're going to use this as a clinch or a stopper knot. And then up here we have a clinch knot with some extra tippet on there, which will just act as a stop knot there. Thank you everybody for watching. Until then, I'll see everybody next time.